Welcome to the Purposely Aligned Entrepreneur Podcast presented by Boss Girl Creative. This is episode number 498. Today, it's all about productivity, how to create a productivity map for your first quarter, and so much more. Now let's dive in. Hey, I'm Taylor Bradford, host of the Purposely Aligned Entrepreneur Podcast presented by Boss Girl Creative. I help small business owners turn their purpose into a paycheck, and it starts with visibility. In the online world, visibility equates to sales. So if you're dreaming of being the next $1 million entrepreneur, you've come to the right place, because weekly I share visibility tips, brand advice, and business resources. So grab a notebook, your favorite pen, and a beverage, and let's do the work. Hello, friend. Welcome to the podcast. I'm your host, Taylor Bradford. First of all, please excuse how I sound. I tell you what, life has thrown the punches at me. I escaped having any kind of sickness from travels, but my husband didn't. And I am sick now because of my husband. I actually went to the doctor after 3 solid days of having a low-grade fever and my throat just on fire. I don't recall ever having the kind of pain I was having with my throat. So I was not surprised that the diagnosis was strep throat. And I'm on the mend now, but I've still continued to have a fever. So I'm really hoping that all of that shakes loose soon. But in the process of having antibiotics, I guess I was also hiding a sinus infection, because that all kind of, with the antibiotic, all kind of helped flush that out. And I was like, wow, I don't even remember having symptoms for that. So that's weird. I can't win. So the last week has really been crappy. It has truly been crappy. I haven't had fever consecutively like that probably since, oh my gosh, 8th grade? When did I have the flu last? I feel like I had the flu. No, I probably had the flu in like 2018-ish. So since then, 2017, 2016, I don't remember. It's been quite a bit since I've had any kind of running fever, consecutive fever, where I was every 6 hours, taking some kind of Tylenol for the fever, and then it would just come back. And I know last night when I took the antibiotic, I also had to take some more Advil or Tylenol. I don't remember what I was taking, and because I still had a low-grade fever. So I'm hoping that I don't have that this morning, but we shall see. So we are going to get through this together. This is episode number 498. We're talking about productivity mapping, but I want to dive into some life updates for you. I hired somebody. Oh my gosh. I'm excited. We'll see how this new assistant will work out. She's going to start in the first full week back in January, and she has a lot to learn. But she's like, out of everybody that applied, once I finally dialed in my actual job description title, I felt like she was the most qualified to do the job, which is good. So she starts soon. I'm excited to have the help again, because I can tell you so much falls by the wayside when I don't have help. It's crazy. How did I get things done? But we didn't have a roofing and construction company when I first hired my first assistant. So did we? Yes, we did. We just started. It wasn't to the level of this. I'm unable to keep up with things when I don't have help. So that's good news number 1. Our pond is looking so good. It is crazy what dedicated time with people that know what they're doing actually can do for you. So we're really close. We probably have 3 full days left to actually get it completely the way we want it. And then we go into next stages of creating habitats for the fish and bringing in some rock and some figuring out plants and that kind of thing. So looking forward to that, but it looks so good. We do have to rent, I believe, maybe we don't have to. Maybe we're borrowing some kind of a dozer because we learned that the dam side of our pond is not in the right place. And they took out trees they didn't have to, which breaks my heart because I push really hard on that. But here we are. So now I will plant more trees once that is all settled. But that's really exciting. It's really exciting that we're here. And I think we're setting up for septic. So I have to fill out paperwork for septic. And it's just going to be full speed ahead. Which one of the things when we get into productivity mapping, which is what we're going to be doing today, one of the things that I want to work on is my house, which is one of my goals for Q1. It has nothing to do with business. It has everything to do with this is going to happen and I have to be on board with every decision, which is going to be very time consuming and I'm going to have to make time for it. So let's talk about productivity mapping. So the word productivity sounds promising, right? But also I feel like it exudes this feeling of we can just be less than, which sucks and then triggers overwhelm, right? How often do you feel surrounded by other business owners that appear to be planning and executing and making time for rest, like they have the balance part figured out, and they can still enjoy coffee in the morning because they've already got it done? Or that you don't even have time to drink your coffee because it looks like they've already got it all done. I'm raising my hand over here. Me, I feel like that right now in this particular season because of the ads that I'm being served up and the email blasts that I'm receiving from these entrepreneurs. It is crazy how much, I don't want to call it animosity, but oh my gosh, these people have their ish together. That's what I feel like. But really, it isn't that way. But what if there was a way to map out your first quarter in 2025 in 30 minutes? That's your first 3 months. That's January, that's February, that's March. What if there was a way to do that in 30 minutes? So the very first thing that I want you to do for me is ask yourself, what is one thing you've been wanting to do, but just haven't found the time to make it happen? What's the project? I realize some things might kind of bubble up to the surface for you when you start thinking about this thing. Things like, but I've tried this in the past and it didn't work. Or I've tried so many things and I can't seem to pull it off. Or I've talked about this project before and people thought it wasn't good enough. I realize that there may be some emotional bubbles that kind of filter through to the top. But I also realize that this is normal. Because I feel those things. I get that there can be emotions that surround picking a project. But as I continue down this path and this conversation with you, I want to encourage you to pick something you've been wanting to do for a while without worrying about what others have to say, think, or judge. Allow yourself the freedom to pick a project. Okay. So now I want to do something that might make you feel a little uncomfortable. I want you to breathe deeply with me. Take a deep breath with me on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Now this project could be updating your website, creating a new product for your business, planning your garden, designing your house. It could be anything. It doesn't have to be business related. It can be life related. Okay, so we're going to do the breathing thing again. And this time, when we get to the deep breath out, I want you to name the project. All right, in 3, 2, 1, deep breath in. Deep breath out. Name the project. Now that the project is front and center in your mind, let's build the map. I want you to ask yourself these 5 questions. Now, the first question is truly going to define whether or not you have the capacity to do the project in the next 3 months. So, question number 1 is, do I have the capacity? Yes or no? If yes, we're going to go straight to question 2. If no, then I want you to ask yourself these 2 questions. It's time for you to take something off your plate so you can give this project the capacity it needs, or give yourself a pass and say that you need to wait until you have the capacity for it. So which is it? For the sake of this particular podcast episode, if it's initially a no, I need you to choose a simpler project where you can say yes to, do I have the capacity to do this, to complete this in the first quarter? Okay, question number 2, set a date within the first quarter. That's your completion time frame. This is your launch date. This is your I'm finished with this project date. Number 3, it's time to brain dump. I want you to think about all the things you will need to accomplish to complete your quarterly project. I don't want you to worry about the order just yet. I just want you to get them on a list. So if I am planning to design my home, I need to go room by room and actually build out a mood board so I have direction to give to my subs that is more than just the plans themselves. I need paint colors. I need trim. I need flooring. I need surfaces like countertops and backsplash. I need to know what my appliances are going to be. I need to know what my bathtub's going to look like. I need to know all of those things. So I need to write out everything that I need to do in this brain dump so that I can put it all together as to what falls next, which is number 4, creating a timeline. Just estimate it if you don't really know how long a task will take, but also make sure that you have some free time factored in so that if one task takes longer, then you can bump into that free time to complete it. And then number 5 is to actually create the tasks. Think of your 3 months in this upcoming quarter. What specifically has to get done for you to complete the project? And then once you know this, create a weekly plan that accomplishes those objectives per month. Knowing and seeing it all written down to the week will help keep your overwhelm tampered down. So focus on the small list of tasks from week to week instead of looking at the whole picture over the quarter. So example, in week 1, write 2 to 3 tasks per day that must get done to move your project forward, and any other to-dos or appointments worth noting. And if you're superhuman, plot it all out into a daily schedule by the hour. Now, that doesn't work for me. I can't be like, at 9 a.m. I'm going to work out, and at 10:30 I'm going to do this thing. That doesn't work when you are multifaceted and have a lot of crap going on. I mean, like, I would like to be able to say I could do that, but I already know that would set me up to fail and that would totally suck, and then I would scrap everything. So don't do that to yourself. And hey, if you need some kind of a notebook to do this in, I've got that 90-day undated planner that would really work perfectly for this. Pop over to bossgirlcreative.com/BGC planner and grab 1 or 4, because there are 4 quarters in a year, for you to use in this productivity mapping. Okay, so let's go back through this. So we have the project figured out, right? Number 1, do I have the capacity, yes or no? Number 2, set a date within the quarter to be complete or to be launched. Number 3, brain dump. all the things that you will need to accomplish to complete your quarterly project, but don't worry about the order just yet. Just get it all brain dumped out. Number 4, create your timeline. Just estimate how long a specific task might take. Build in some free time just in case. And then number 5, actually create the task down to the week so that each month you are rocking and rolling and you're heading towards completion. It is really that simple. And at the end, when you get to the end of March, you will have this project complete. And holy cow, what a feeling that will be. And then you just rinse and repeat. This is how you accomplish goals that have either been sitting on your to-do list for way too long, or it's how you tackle the next big idea that you have that you can actually do within a 3-month time frame. You could launch a podcast. You could start a whole new business. Give yourself an opportunity to have these wins, but break them out into 3-month chunks. So there you have it. There's your productivity map. This is going to help you have an amazing 2025. I mean, come on, like that was not hard at all. We just have to take a couple deep breaths and figure out what our project is. And then you just give yourself time. Like literally you could do this in 30 minutes. Give yourself time to plan it out and you're going to be golden. I know you're going to be golden. I'm so excited to have you here with me today. Thank you, friend. I so appreciate you. We are so close to 2025. It's crazy. If you haven't yet reviewed my show in the platform that you listen to, would you please take a moment to do that? I would so appreciate that. It really does mean something to me. And until next time, I hope you have a Merry Christmas and a great rest of your week. We are chugging right along to New Year's 2025. Hey, real quick before I go, I wanted to pop back in and say again, thank you so much for listening to this latest episode of the Purposely Aligned Entrepreneur Podcast. I would so love a favor from you right now. Would you please share this episode with a friend or share it to your social media and tag me at Boss Girl Creative? Oh my gosh, that would mean so much to me if you did that right now. Okay, I'll see you next week with a brand new episode.